Don't disturb others also. Next person. Right. So the first question is str equal to 1000. All vals equal to split of str comma 0 I have given. What is the U bound? Date, what is the date? This is 12th question. Huh? Okay, what is the U bound here? Huh? 3. How many people wrote 3? How many people wrote 2? How many people wrote 0? 2, 3, 4. See how many values will be coming if I split with a 0. 1, 2, 3. If you split 3 times, what happens now? One value, 0 to 0 in between there will be empty. Empty also will be taken as one value. Empty. This 0 to 0 there is empty, and here it will be empty. How many values total? 4 values. 1, 3 empty values. So total 4 values. Then what will be U bound? 3. If U bound is values are 4, U bound will be 3. U bound is 3. Remember, if when you are splitting with 0, if 0, 0 is there next to next, it's still split 2 times, but in between if there is nothing, left side there is nothing, empty taken, right side there is nothing, empty taken. In between also if there are next to next, then still it will split and empty will be taken in between. Okay, empty will be taken. So U bound is 3 then. Okay, so first it will split with this 0, this one and this one will be taken. This 0, left side already taken and right side empty taken, and split with this 0 and right side will be taken. So 3 empty values and 1 there. So U bound is 3. Okay, next. There is one more question has been asked here. I will open here. Okay. So write the value 10 times. You need to print 1 to 10, but you should not use loop. How many people did that? How many people know? You wrote. So recursive function, there is something called recursive function, calling a function by the same function. Okay. So how many people knew this already? Okay. Now I'll say function, I'll just say print values. Okay, I'll say print values. End function. And I will make the variable as one global variable as this. I equal to 0. I equal to I plus 1. Message box I. If I is less than or equal to int number, call print values of int number. I'll say end if. I'll say call print values of, I'll give 5 now. It will be 6 times printing. Let's see now. 1 type mismatch, sorry, spelling mistake. I did a spelling mistake here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it should be just less than. When it is less than, then only call it. Then if it is equal to also, you reach at the maximum value. See, did I use loop anywhere? No, right? How this will be executed? Any idea? See, what happens is now, I must be a global variable here. Then only it can take inside. First, as soon as you execute this, int number will be 5. Right? You can take the int number is 5. You just take it as a 5 now. As soon as it comes to third line, then it will come here. First, what is the default value of I? 0. Then it will be taking as I equal to I plus 1, nothing but 1. I will be 1. So it will display as 1 now and checks this condition. What is the condition here? I equal to int number. What is the int number taken? 5. So I is less than 5. Matching, right? So then it matches, then again it comes inside the condition. When it goes inside the condition, what happens? It calls the same function. When it calls the same function, again it comes to the first line. Now what is I value here? 1, right? Then it will become 1 plus 1. I equal to 2. Again the condition matches. I is less than 5, right? So again it goes inside, again it comes to the first line. I value will be increased. I value will be set to 3 now. Again it will be executing because I is still less than 5. And again I value will become 4. Again condition matches. Then again it goes to the first line. And again I value will become 5. And then this time after displaying 5, when it checks, then I is not less than int number now. I is equal to int number. Condition mismatches. Then it doesn't go inside the function now. It comes to the end if and then come out. So keep calling the function. This is what without writing the loop, still you can execute a code for multiple times. That's called recursive function, calling a function by same function. Okay, right, this is question number 40. Oh yeah. So now I just gave 5 here. If you want 10, then you can give 10. If you want 20, you can give 20 also then. Next, I want to find the length of the string, but I added some conditions there. You should not use len function. You should not use mid. You know already how to use mid. How many people know how to use mid here? You can use do loop and till mid returns empty, then you can keep getting number of non-empty values, nothing but the length. This most of the times we have seen. But there is one, the reason why I have asked this question is, maybe I might not have explained this. I'm not sure I have or I have not explained. I actually forgot, because for some people I explained. I don't know whether I explained to you. You can use replace. You can use replace function. How many people know full syntax of replace? How many arguments for replace? 6, right? Total we have 6 arguments for replace. What are they? One is what string, what you need to find with what you need to replace, start position, number of occurrences, comparison, right? But 80% of the time, 80 to 90% of the times we'll be using only 3 arguments. Only first 3 are mandatory arguments. What string, what you need to find, and with what you need to replace. Okay. Now let's see what I will do now here. Okay. Absolutely like this. This is UFT. Okay. str first char equal to left of, what did I do? I got the first character, right? I'm getting the first character here. Now I'll say like this, str equal to, I will use the same variable, str equal to replace, I will replace and I will assign to the same variable, no problem. Okay. We can override the variable value like this. Replace str comma, what you need to find? Find the first character. Replace with what? Empty. Replace with empty. If I give only like this, then wherever that first character t, both the t's will be replaced. If I give like this, by default it is replace all. But what I do is now, I will continue with the arguments, remaining arguments. Next one is 1. 1 means start position. Start position means start finding it from first character of the string. Next argument is how many occurrences you want to replace. Again I will give as 1. 1 means only one occurrence you need to replace. Last one is comparison mode. I will give as 1. Anyway I am taking the first character only, so it will return as, case is same case, obviously it is going to be. This doesn't make any much difference here. I'll use str. Question number? Okay, so no, this logic is not yet completed. What did you get here? T is eliminated. Okay. Now I will manually I will eliminate. Okay, just to see the condition. So T is being eliminated. So just I eliminated. What's happening? Every time first character is being eliminated, right? Right. So now what I do is, do until till it is empty, keep doing it. Number of times it executes, I will be counting. Okay, I will be counting. Initial value of I is 0. Message box I. I'm sorry. Okay, so do until str equal to empty. See now what happens. First time executed, I is what? 1. Right, every time I value. Second time executed, I is 2. I is 3. I is 4. I is 5. Space eliminated now. I is 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And this is 12, right? 12. Now I is the str is empty. Loop is stopped. 11. Sorry, one count I missed out. Right? Got what I am saying here? So what you are doing? You are just eliminating the first character every time. If you keep eliminating the first character, at certain time it will be empty. So number of times it is executed, right? Then nothing but the length. Okay. So this is how you can find out the length. But there are plenty ways. You can still use mid. You can also use INSTR. How do you use INSTR? Take the last character, right? Keep executing till the last occurrence, till INSTR returns 0. Then that will also give the count. Huh? You can use INSTR reverse length, but INSTR doesn't work, I guess. INSTR will not work. INSTR reverse. INSTR reverse. Take the last character. Yeah. And you can also use regular expression. Regular expression is pattern is dot. Pattern, what you can do is dot. Dot means a single character. When you execute that pattern, one dot is nothing but one character. Number of characters, then number of matches. Then what you can do, or is it dot execute of that str if you give, when you give pattern as dot, if you get the count of matches, then it will be number of characters. Okay? So this is another one. What else I have given in the VB script? Huh? Write a program to check if the values in the drop down, that is not in VB script exactly, that is are in UFT also, because how do you get the values? Yeah. Okay. So these are just some logical, but now we'll start with one by one question. The first question is here. Gaurav. The first question is, I said what is the difference between set TO property, set TO properties and get TO property, get TO properties, get RO property and get RO properties. Okay, I'll tell you one thing here. You don't have set TO properties, you don't have get RO properties, you don't have set RO property. Okay, you don't have set RO property, you don't have set TO properties, you don't have get RO properties. You have only set TO property, get TO property, get RO properties, get RO property and get TO properties. 1, 2, 3, only 4 methods available there. Set TO, get TO properties, get RO property. Okay. Now, this is for the experienced person, experienced people, whoever is already okay, so for the people who is attending the interviews already, some experienced guys. Okay, so can you tell me a situation where you have used set TO property? I'm not asking what it does. Understand my question? Tell me a situation where you have used set TO property. I'm asking about the scenario from your application maybe. I'm testing your real time.
There may be a by default value like employee ID. By default it will take. If you want to change the default value for some other value, user default value, then you can use it.
We can use that. Yeah, probably, right? But is there any other? That also, I'm not sure. That is not 100% right. Huh?
Non-ID will be automatically will be there, right? Automatically one form will be filled up, after next form will be filled, front IDs will be changed, right?
Okay.
That that ID will be captured in retrieve the ID.
No.
The other is not identified during runtime. We can reset your property to
Ideally, right, but where exactly, I mean, in what situation you can use, or any just a small functionality you can refer. No. Okay.
By default,
No, I'll tell you, wait. So be with a bit patience.
in the application terms and conditions, checkbox will be automatically checked off.
Uh,
So to check that it's all
no. Wait, I'll show you. I'm just opening the UFT. I'll just show you. I've used getTo property name, getTo property of name. But is the name property available here? Not available. What will be the output now? If property is not there, getTo property, it returns empty. If property is not there in the repository, if you use getTo property, then okay, just remember that. Okay, so this is getTo property. Clear on this? Okay. Next is getTo properties. Browser dot page dot image dot getTo properties. No input required here. Properties, multiple properties means no need to give anything. Whatever the properties available, fetches all the properties. getTo properties, no input. getTo property, input is required. Single property means which property you want to get, which property value you want to get. You mandatorily give the property name there, but getTo property is then no need to give. Now for I equal to, or first you get the count. Message box all properties dot count 0 to count -1 all properties of I dot name all properties of I dot value. Okay, so what it does, you know why I have used it set here? Where? No, it is actually, case is wrong, but variable Okay, that's just a variable, right? So case doesn't matter there. Why I have used set? Because each property will be taken as an object type. Why it has taken as object type? Because every property has got two properties there. Name is one and value. Whatever contains the methods or properties, that will be taken as a object type. Every property will be written as a object type there. So that is the reason I have used as set. So total 4 properties are there, but there were only 3, right? But logical name, mid class is there, right? Class it has taken. Class also will be taken as a property. Mid class is image, that is given by the UFT. Mid class is given by the UFT. Remaining 3 are the properties what it has captured. Image type, HTML tag and alt. Alt has been taken. Get TO properties means all the properties once. Get TO property means one property. And set TO properties means change. Now I hope you know get RO property. Get RO property means retrieve the property value from the application, not from the repository. Get RO property. People who don't know, who hasn't come yet for the UFT, just write down it and then you will slowly understand. Get RO property is for getting the property value from application. Right. Okay. No get RO properties, no set RO property, no set TO properties. People do the mistake here. Okay, next. This people who not come to the UFT, I mean, probably they can ignore this question. Okay. What is the difference between normal run and fast run? Okay, see, you will only understand the difference now. Or this. Where do you set run mode, normal mode or fast mode? Go to tools, options, GUI testing, test runs. And here, can you see normal mode and fast mode? 2 types of modes are there. Okay, now I will just run in fast mode. Say okay, you run it. One minute, I have not committed that. Just display it. Right? Okay. Tools, options, GUI testing, test runs. I am running in normal mode. I selected normal mode now. Any observation that you made? You can see there is yellow line coming now. Whatever the line which is being executed, yellow cursor is displayed there. Right? But when I run in fast mode, when I select it to fast mode, then that yellow line hasn't come, right? That is one difference, because what that yellow line does, yellow line tells you which line is currently executing. That is an indicator for you which line is currently being executed. Okay, there is one more now. I'll just give delay time, probably that is not displayed here properly. Okay, yeah, here. So it's, see here, what I'm giving 2000. What is this? Delay each step execution by how many milliseconds? Right? Milliseconds. How much time I have given? 2000. 2000 milliseconds, in a sense 2 seconds. What do you observe now? You can see there is a slight delay between every step. So this is what something that makes the difference between normal mode and fast mode. When you run in normal mode, an yellow cursor will be displayed for every line, so that it will be a clear indicator for you. It indicates you clearly, say that which line is currently being executed. That is one thing. Fast mode means it is not showing any yellow cursor, so that will be a little tricky for you to understand which line is being executed currently. Right? Also, when you have got normal run, you have got one more option there. When you select to normal mode, you have got one more option saying that, okay, delay the execution between every step, so and so time delay. 2000 means 2 seconds, so that for every step it will delay, but only, it will consider for all the steps. Okay, it's not like 20 steps you delay and 20 steps you run fast. It is not like that. For all the steps it will be considering. In a loop also, then it will be okay. So for every line it will be 2 seconds delay, 2 seconds delay. Now we see here, after 2 seconds it is going. When do you use like this? When you say now you have just written the script, you just want to observe the script how it is being executed, or sometimes now you say like, okay, you joined in a project where the script is already written. So now what you have to do, you just need to if you want to understand the script, right, then what you have to do, if you want to understand the framework or if you want to understand the existing scripts, then you need to run it and then you observe every line, what is being executed and how it is being executed, right? So if you want to make that clear observance, what you can do, you can just select the normal mode, you can delay between every step 2 seconds like that, you just run it and then keep observing it, right? So that you don't need to press any key. But I have used a message box here, so that I am pressing enter. But if you have not used any message box, no need to do anything. Just run it and sit in front of the system and then you keep observing, so that you will get an idea what methods they have used and where and all they have used and all. Right? That is the difference between normal mode and fast mode. If they ask you what is the difference between normal mode and fast mode execution, normal mode means, okay, there will be an yellow cursor displayed at every line that you execute, and you can also have the delay time between every step. But when you run in fast mode, no yellow cursor displayed and there is no delay time between every step. But that is excluded when you use wait. When you use wait, then it will wait for certain time. But you cannot keep wait for every line, right? You cannot keep wait statement for every line. But if you write like this, for every line automatic wait. Okay, automatic wait. This is the difference between normal mode execution and fast mode execution. Okay, right. There is one more thing that I have asked about maintenance run mode and update run mode, and just please wait and I will explain you further. And how many types of data table available and what are they? Where do you see them? Right? There are two types of data tables available. One is, you can see here, go to view data, sorry, not the properties, and go to view data, and you can see a data table. This is one data table. Now assume I'll just say like this. I'm just using a sample. This is design time data table. The data table, what you see here, design time data table. I'll do like this. Result should be updated during runtime. Right? Int val1 equal to data table dot value of val1. Since I've used global sheet, I don't need to give the sheet name there. Int val2 equal to data table dot value of val2, right? res equal to, or result equal to, int val1 plus int val2. What will be the output? Message box result. How do you write the value back into the data table? Again, you said data table at value of. Right? Okay. Now let me run. What will be the result here? 10 and 20. What's the output? You know why? Instead of adding it, it's concatenating. Okay, that is irrelevant, but still I will explain now, because the concept is data types of data table. But why it has come now here 1020? Because as I told earlier, okay, so in the beginning itself, when I told about conversion functions in the VB script, I told that whenever you take the values from external source, maybe data table or maybe from application and all, even though that is a numeric value, but the value will be taken as a string. Did I tell that? That is the reason we have got typecasting. Nothing but converting the data type. That's the reason we have discussed about some of the conversion functions like CSTR, cint, c byte or c double, like that, right? So now the value, since you have stored the value in the data table, you have retrieved the value from data table. The value is taken as a string type, even though that is a numeric value, but still it is taken as a string type. So both the values taken as string type now. Right, string type. So that since values are string type here, plus is used as a concatenation, then okay, not the numeric. So that is the reason it taken as 10, 20. But however, the value might have written in the data table, right? But what do you see in the data table there? Empty. Does it mean that it did not write into the data table? Actually, it has written. You might not be able to see that, or probably you are not there at the system when you execute it. You have seen after execution is completed, or probably the data table was not seen during the execution to you, right? But let me do one thing. I'll just keep a breakpoint and let me run it. I'll just open data table. Did it write or not? It has written. Run it. What happened now? Now, what happened there? whatever the value that you have written into the data table, that value is temporary. The change whatever you are doing to the data table during runtime, that change is temporary. But now after the execution, also I want to see what change that has come into the data table, whether it has been updated or not. This is design time data table. Whatever you see, while running whatever you see, that is runtime. But when you are writing the script, whatever the data table that you see there is design time. Design time data table is always editable. You can do that. But where can I find the runtime data table? Data has been updated to the runtime data table, not to the design time data table. Where can I find runtime data table? Go to view, results, view, data. You can see here, right? So interview question might come like this. Okay, so I got some data in the data table, and during the execution I'm just updating, doing some changes to the data table, but the changes were there when I executed. But once the execution is completed, I'm not able to see those changes. But where can I see it? Then you can say that once the execution is completed, that data will be there in the runtime data table. And to see runtime data table, what you do, open the results and go to view data in the results, and you can see the runtime data table there, and you can see all the data whatever you updated during the runtime. That's called runtime data table. Two types of data tables: design time data table and runtime data table. Okay. Next, debugging methods. I will just come back. Wait. I have got a web table and actions, and there is one more thing called function library. Okay, I mean associating function libraries. I got the same functions in two libraries. How many people answered for that? Okay, now the question is like this. I've got two functions with same name. Okay, I got two functions with same name, but both two functions are there in two different libraries. Both the libraries I have associated to same test. Now when I call the function, which one will be executed? Which one is associated? First one. The last one. Based on arguments. As I told, we don't have overriding. Right? Overloading and do we have overriding here? No. So that's not right. Based on the arguments, no. I told, right, I just told the difference between Java and VB script some time back when I told about user defined functions. So not based on the arguments. But the answer is whatever you told, both. The one which loaded last, the one which loaded first, both are right answers, in fact. But how it is right? Wait. I need to create two function libraries now, okay, and I'll do that. I'm creating two libraries temporarily. New function library. I'll just save it as I'm just creating a function libraries folder. I'll give now library 1.vbs. Okay. Function any function that you give, I'll say add numbers, a simple function. Okay, add numbers. I'll give a comma b. C equal to A plus B, and I will just give message box. Okay, message box C, and I will just give some just additional message here. You say you are seeing this message from library 1. Okay, I'll just say just to understand. Now I'll create one more library, or I will save the same library as library 2.vbs, or any library extension is okay, fine, no problem. You are seeing this from library 2. Okay, so I got two libraries, but you see both the libraries have got the same function, right? Okay, what I do now, I'm going to the settings and go to resources, associate both the libraries here, library 1 library 2. Okay, so in this list, which one is first? Library 1 is first, library 2 is second, right? Look at the order, right? Call, I'll say add numbers of 30, 40. I'll just give message number is message box is inside the function, so I'm not taking the return exactly here. I'm displaying inside only. Now you run it. What do you see here? So which one is executed? First one. Let me comment out this one. Go to file, settings. Which one is in the list? Library 2 is in the first right here. I just changed the order now. Click on OK. Which one is? What do you observe now? Whatever is first there in the settings window, in the resources, libraries, whatever is loaded first. You can see based on the order, you can see the loaded. First library, whatever is appeared, that is first loaded, right? But that is the answer who said the one which loaded first, that will be the first one, right? But what I am doing, load function library, which one is loaded first now? Which one it will be executing? From library 1, right? What do you see now? Whatever is loaded second, from that it is executing. So your both answers are right here, but when you use settings, whatever the library loaded from in the beginning, then it will be taking that. The preference will be first library, then second library, like that. But when you are using runtime method, then it will be taken from last loaded one. The preference go to last loaded one, then like this. It will go in reverse order. Right? So both answers are right, but you have to tell the when it will be first and when it will be last. Okay, I have not done it. I'll go with settings, resources, library 1 I am loading through the setting, library 2 I am loading runtime. Which one will be executed now? Setting 1 or runtime? Runtime. Right? Okay, next. Add numbers 30, 40. Same function here. Sorry, it should be a, b. C is equals to a plus b. Mrs. box C. This is from action 1. Now, which one will be executed now? One library, I have same function in two libraries. One library is loaded from settings, one library is loaded from runtime method, but there is one function is there in the action with the same name. Which one will be executed now? What will be the output? The library which is loaded from runtime. Okay, so the function which is there inside the action, what do you call it as? Local function. Always the preference goes to local function. But look at that, for local function, how many arguments I have given? 3 arguments. But how many arguments I have given? What will be the output now? Wrong number of arguments, because it is trying to execute the local function only. If we have two functions with same name, one is inside the action, one is in the library, whatever the function stored in the action, that will be executed. It will try to execute the local function only. Okay, remember that. Also, if I have two functions with same name within the action, same action, which one will be executed? The latest one. The one which is placed last is nothing but the latest. No matter when you created it, but the one which is placed in the last, that will be the latest always, that will be considered. So the last function, whatever has been placed, that will be executed. One of the interview questions, this is also one of the interview questions, some of the people have been failed. People say first one directly, people say the last one directly, but you have to add if and condition. How the library has been loaded, your answer has been changed here. Got? Okay, because see, these kind of things I cannot show during the topic. Okay, during the topic, but unfortunately, these kind of questions are most targeted in the interviews as well. Okay, right. Right. Next is, there is one more question that has been clear, right? This one? Okay. One more question that has been asked here. One minute. Yeah, I've got the web table method here. Or yeah, there is one more. I got 20 actions. I just gave some number, but not exactly the 20 actions. Assume design call to new action. I am creating action 2. Message box environment dot value of action name, that will give, right? And here action 1 I say message box environment. I just wrote some text. It's like, just for the sake I'm writing the script here, just to understand how many actions and in which flow those actions will be executed. And I'll create one more here, call to new action 3, and again the same code I will write, environment dot value of action name. What is the environment dot value of action name? It will give the name of the action based on which action currently executing. Okay, I have 3 actions. Then what I want to do, if I run the test, what is the flow that will be executed? Depends on the flow that what you see here. That is a test flow. That is a test flow screen, whatever the flow that you see here. Now we can see first it is showing as action 1, then it is showing action 2, then it is showing action 3. So that is the flow that is being executed. Now how do you change the flow? You can just do a drag and drop here. But in a different order, also again it is executing all the actions. By using test flow, you can change only the flow. But now what I want to do is, I don't want, out of 3, I want to execute only 2. I don't want to execute one of the actions. What do? But if you delete this, the action will be permanently deleted. But I don't want to delete the action.
In run tab, we have an option called run to run yes.
Run. 1 minute, I'll show you run. Okay.
Run to step and run from step.
No. You say now, I have 10 actions. I want to execute action 1. I want to execute action 3. I want to execute action 4. I want to execute action 7 and 8. Where we need to comment. Where you need to do is now, okay, so to change that, first just I will just take the path of the test here. Every test will be saved as a folder, right? I am just opening the test folder. Inside that, how many actions you can see? Action 1, action 2, action 3 you can see, as well as you can see something called action 0. What is action 0 there? Action 0 is a controller. Open action 0. You can see something called script.mts. Open this. You can open it in Notepad or you can open it in Notepad or Notepad++, anything that you can open. Now what you do, you can see run action, right? If whatever the action you don't want to execute, you comment out that. Okay. Now what I do, you can also change the flow here if you want. If you say action 2, if I bring to the front, what does it mean? First action 2, then you can change the flow. You can change the execution flow from test flow, or you can change here inside the action 0 folder, script.mts, open it, and then you can change the flow here. Sorry? No, that will not be changed. Can be changed, but will be changed or can be changed, lot of differences there. But that is not so important now. What do? I commented 2 actions. Action 2 and action 3 I have commented. Right? Now come to the UFT, reopen the test. To reflect that change, you need to reopen the test. How many you see in the execution flow now? Only one. Whatever is uncommented, whatever have been commented, those are missing in the test flow. But if you go to view solution explorer, how many actions you can see? That means 3 actions are there in the test. But from flow, 2 actions are missing. You run it. How many are executed? Got the answer? So what you do is, now to skip some of the actions, whatever the actions you don't want to execute, the only option what you have is, go to the folder where your test has been saved. Inside the test folder, open action 0 folder. Action 0 is for controller action. It is action 0 will not be seen in the UFT. Inside the action 0 folder, go to test.mts, sorry, script.mts. You open that in the notepad or notepad++, any editor you can open, no problem. And there it will be showing all the actions like run action. Whatever the action you don't want to execute, just comment that. You know how to comment also, single quote you just add. That's it. That's how, that is how you can skip the actions from execution. Or if you want to change the flow of the actions, you can do in the test flow, or you can go there and you can change the flow. Okay? Okay. Now, I have asked some question about web table, but this is strictly for the people whoever know about the UFT already, gone through all the most of the concepts, web table methods and all. One question what I have asked, okay, I have some questions in the web table. Sorry, I have some objects, web edits in the web table, and those web edits are not in one cell, it could be in a different cells. Out of those web edits, some web edits are disabled, some web edits are enabled. Only the web edits which are enabled in those cells, you will have to set the random value. You will have to set random value. Right? That's what. Who wrote that? Okay, tell me the script now. I strictly told that you should not use child objects. When you use description.create, child objects you should not use. What did I mention here? Should use child item, not child objects. When you say description.create, then that is applicable for child objects. You can use child objects when, here you can say child objects, how can you use? Set oedit equal to description.create, right? If you are using child objects for this, I'll tell you how it will be. Set oedit equal to description.create oedit dot add make class equal to web edit oedit dot add disabled equal to 0. That means only enabled one, right? If you are using child objects, this is set oedit collection equal to browser of page of so and so page dot web table. Child items means old page it will be considering, but I said within a table, right? So use some table dot child objects. Child objects you apply inside the table, for the table, because when you apply for the page, it will take the edit fields which are in the table outside the table. But now I strictly told that inside the table you need to get the edit fields which are inside the table, so that child objects should be applicable only for the web table here. Now you say oedit. Now what this will do, this will retrieve the collection of only the edit fields which are enabled. Now we can use like this, for I equal to 0 to oedit collection dot count -1 Then you say oedit collection of I dot set, I'll say random number dot value comma 1 comma something. I'll just give, I mean just some random number I'm setting there. That is when you use child objects, but I said that you should not use child objects. But if you have used child objects, that is the right thing. But my question says that you should not use that, I strictly told that you have to use only child item. That is just to make you to understand the web table methods. Now, yeah, people who wrote that can tell the last two. Get the row count. Yeah, 1 minute slow. I'll just go through one by one, okay? Set O table equal to. Okay? Next. Yeah, into O row count equal. O table dot row count for I equal to people who are tired can go. Get the column count. People who focus can stay back. Int columns equal to O table dot column count of I. That will give total number of columns, right?
Then we have to use child item function for each.
You have to go through each cell again, right? Because this is not for me, right? These questions normally you don't get in a class, right? That is the reason I'm taking separate session. Because these are not the real-time things. These are pure logical based questions. There is no restriction, because if you don't have the focus now, you are tired, then you can go. But you are the person who will be impacted at the end, not me. Right. So what you are doing now? You are. So you are just looping through every row and every column. Okay. Now I'll say like this: set oedit equal to O table dot child item of I comma j comma web edit comma 0. Then
we don't know in each cell how many web tables are there.
right.
So then we have to take
So now I said that there are multiple, but in some of the cells we don't have any web edit. In some of the cells we might be having multiple web edits. But what this does now, I'll tell you. If you, some people have written, but the logic also right, but some conditions have been missed out. oedit dot get row property of disabled equal to 0. That means if it is get row property of disabled equal to 0, what does it mean? It is enabled. If I am not covered UFT, if the beginners of the UFT, no need to write, because there could be confusion. If you write also, no need to go through. But this is for the seniors, okay? Then oedit dot set, again you can say random number dot value of something. Just you can give a minimum and a maximum, but you can just give only minimum. Maximum it will automatically take anything, no problem. Now, who got that logic? Just still extension is needed for that. Who got that logic what I have written? Please raise your hands who got. Not half hand, full hand I want to raise. Who didn't get that? Please raise. Who did not get? Who got off? Okay. People who got can explain line by line there. Actually, that's not a big program. It's a very simple program. Can explain anybody, no problem. No energy? Please keep the energy. Okay? You need the energy. You can't go run out of energy, right?
Sir, how from top to
You can just explain at high level. I mean, you don't need to go line by line exactly, but explain. Just you can say what is the first loop I, what I am doing, and what is J loop there for loop, and what is the child item, what is the condition I have used. Just explain only them. That will be fine.
First we are accessing the web table with
Yeah.
the name of a DFL list.
Okay.
And after that we have to collect the how many total number of rows.
Yeah.
We cannot go directly to collect the how many total number of columns because we have to give the row number for the column count. So for that, what I'm using for I is equal to 1. I'm initiating I is equal to 1 to total number of total rows
Okay.
because I took the first total rows.
Yeah.
After that, in that loop, into total columns is equal to O table of total columns of total column count of I.
Yeah.
I means that row number.
Yeah.
After that, I'm coming inside the second loop for J. For J is equal to what to total columns.
Yeah.
Again, then set O edit is equal to O table of child item. Child item is used to child item is used to get access or retrieve the objects of a particular cell within the web table.
Okay.
For that, we have to give 4 inputs. First one is row number, second one is column number, third one is class of an object, fourth one is index number. If OEdit of getter property is disabled, if the OEdit is disabled is equal to 0, then OEdit of set random number dot value. Random number dot value is one of the methods to generate the random numbers in UFT. For that, we have to give 2 inputs. One is the minimum, second one is maximum value. For that, we gave 1 is the minimum and 100 is the maximum value.
Okay. See, yeah, what I did is the same thing, simple. First I get the row count. Why I am getting the row count? Because I want to go by every cell. So when I want to go by every cell, I need to go through every row, every column in every row. Right? So that is the reason first what I am doing, I am getting total number of rows. And since the column count will be varying between row to row, that is the reason I am getting the column count inside the row. Then once I get the column count, I am looping from first column to last column. I is representing the row number, J is representing the column. When I is 1, J will be executed for all the columns. When I is 2, J will be executed for all the columns. Then inside each column, what I am doing, I am trying to get the web edit object by using child item. Right? Child item. So, I am using row number as I, column number as J. So first time it will be 1, 1, then 1, 2, 1, 3 depends on number of columns. 0 is for index, first web edit. Then after accessing the web edit, what I am doing, To check whether it is enabled or disabled, what I am doing, I am just using getRO property of disabled. GetRO property of disabled equal to 0 means it is enabled. GetRO property of disabled equal to 1 means it is disabled. If it is enabled, then only I am setting the value, a random number. That's a simple thing. Okay. What is the drawback of that loop, that logic? Any idea? Because if there are multiple web edits, it will be picking only one web edit. If there is no web edit, then still it will try to pick the web edit and throw the error. Right? Then how do you overcome that? Int count equal to, or obj count equal to otable dot. Did I use child item count? Child item count is for counting how many are there. I comma j comma web edit for k equal to not 1, 0, 0 to not use 1 2, because sometimes it returns 0, then it will execute as this one. Here you use as k minus 1. You know what I did here? Why I am using a 1 2? What child item count returns? Number of objects are there, right? If no objects are there, int object count will be 0. Yeah, you can use this way, no problem. I'm sorry. You can use 0. 0 to count minus 1. Assume that if there are two web edits, it will be executing from 0 to 1. First time it will pick 0, second time it will pick 1. If only 1 is there, 0 to 0 it will be. 0 to 0, then it will pick the first one and then works with that. Loop will be executed only once. If there are no web edits, int object count will be 0. Then it will be 0 to minus 1. 0 to minus 1 means how many times loop will be executed? 0 times. So anyway, this will not be executed. That will be executed only when the int object count is minimum 1. Minimum 1. That is the right one. So how that logic works now? If there are any objects, then only it will access each object and then works with that. If there are no objects, then that whatever I have selected will not be executed. If you don't use condition also, if minimum 1, then only it will be executed, right? If minimum 1, then only it will be executed. If 0 means that will not be executed anyway. Right? You can still use condition. If int obj count equal to 0, you can display saying that there are no objects. Otherwise, you can execute this. But if you don't use condition, what will happen? If there are 0 objects, loop will be 0 to minus 1 it will set to. When loop is 0 to minus 1, that will not be executed even once, right? That's it. Right. So this is for the question number what? Question number 8, huh? Yeah, so question number 8. Okay. What is the difference between 10? What is the difference between 12.5 and coding? Is that one? Okay. Actually, I don't need to tell that even. What did I do? I just went to the help. One minute. No. Here. Go to help. You can see what's new here. Help. Yeah, what's new? You can see here. Whatever you find here, that is the difference between 14 and 12.5. But actually, there are no much differences. Forget about UFT. You can't understand that now. That is purely .NET and Java. A different tool it is for continuous integration. They are given TFS integration, Team Foundation Server, and they have used some. See now this record and run settings. I don't know why they have done this. You don't see any much changes here. They just said redesign, but only thing is they just used this. Only thing what they got is this is something local browser parameterizing the browser here. Only this one in say Microsoft Internet Explorer, right? You can parameterize this. But this was there in 12.5 also. But 12.5 directly displayed here. But now if you select this checkbox, then only it will be displayed. But that is not a much considerable difference there. Mobile enhancements. That's only the difference. Mobile enhancement and adding UI automation. Okay, I think I have not covered UI automation. Probably next interview question I will cover the UI automation. And just add in extensions like supporting, technology supporting. And it supports different languages now in the localization testing. Okay, so you can test the application simultaneously. You can test on these languages: Japanese, Chinese, Russian, and all. Some new technology support. So no much differences between 12.5 and 14. I mean, not too many considerable differences, but the more differences between 12.02 and 12.5. And wait, because it takes a little time, I will ignore that as of now, and then I will continue because I will take into a different session for that. Then the another interview question is I will say this. Okay, data tables we have covered. Smart identification. First I will go with the debugging methods one by one. Okay, so I will go the debugging methods. How many debugging methods available? When I say debugging techniques, you can use various techniques like using a breakpoint, and then you can run. You can use run from a current step, run to step. All those also can be considered as debugging. But when you take the methods at high level, we have three methods. One is we have got a step into, and second one is we have got step over, and another one is we call it as step out. We have got step into, we have got step over, and then we have got step out. Shortcut keys goes like this. Step into means F11. Step over means step F10. Step out, shift F11. Step out, shift F11. Okay? Right. So I will show you the differences. For this I will open one more test which we have created. What we created, yeah, I'll go with this. This is one of the thing here. Okay, we have got a lot of functions now, right? We have got a lot of functions here. Each one, okay, so you can see there are lines, and then we got some function to solve this. First is step into. I'll just, whenever you start the debugging from the beginning, you always have to start with step into, remember. Okay, what is that step into? You will only observe. Now, I just pressed a step into, F11 I am pressing now. What happened? Only one line is executed. I am pressing step into. What happened now? Cursor went inside the function. And I am keep pressing F11 now. And in the side the function also it executed line by line. Again it went inside the function. Right? What did you observe now? Step into. Line by line it is executing. Now we can see here. Right? It's executing line by line again. So, step into means it executes line by line. It executes line by line. And if there is any function call at any line, then the cursor will go inside the function. That is step into. F11 is a shortcut key. Okay? Now, what I do is now I will execute again. I'm just going into step into now. Function call is there. Again I pressed step into. But now I just pressed step into, it went inside the function. After coming inside the function, I realized that this function is already debugged. Right? This function is already debugged, and then I don't need to debug this again. But if I press step into, again it will go line by line, line by line. But what I have to do is now I just need to come out of the function without debugging. I mean, it has to execute normally inside that function. But I don't want to go line by line now. But if I press step into, it will again go line by line. But if you want to come out of the function, what you have to do? Step out. Step out. So if the cursor is went inside the function, and if you want to come out of the function without debugging the function, not just come out, it has to execute normally remaining lines inside the function, and it just need to come out of the function. Step out. Remember, step out will be working only when the cursor is inside the procedure, sub or function. Step out will not work when the cursor is inside the action. When outside the sub procedure or function procedure, anything, when it is outside, then step out will not work. Step out will be working only when the cursor is inside. Okay? Now, what is step over? Now we see now that function has been debugged already. If I press step into, what will happen? Again it goes inside. But now what I want to do is, I don't want to go inside. Since that function is debugged already, I just need to execute that function as one line. That's it. I don't want to go inside the function. I don't want to step into the function now. Right? Step out means again inside. If it went inside already, then to take that out, then we use step out. But now, if you want to skip that function from debugging, if you want to execute that function normally, step over. Step over means, did that function go inside? Did that cursor go inside? No. It just executed that function as one line, and then it came to the next line. That is step over. Got what I said? What is the difference? Step into means line by line. And if there is any cursor, if the cursor is at any function line, cursor will be getting into the function, and inside the function also line by line. Step out means if the cursor is already got into the function, if you want to come out of the function, use step out. But if you don't want to get into the function and you just want to execute that function as one line, then you use step over. Whenever that function call there at any line, if there is any function call, if you don't want to get into the function, if you just want to execute that function as one line, then you have to use step over. Okay. Step over also executes line by line in fact. Okay. What makes the difference between step into and step over is step over means it doesn't go inside the function. It just function also will be taken as a single line. But step into means it will go line by line, but if any cursor or any function call, function will be cursor will be getting into the function. Okay, that's the difference between a step into, step over, and step out. Right? Those are the debugging techniques that we do have. Next, there is one more now. I said watch local variables and console. Right? I'll tell you what is the difference between them now. Okay, again I'm just going, these three can be used only during the debugging. Again I'm doing debugging, line by line I'm going, and just go to view, debug, sorry not console, view, debug, you go to local variables, and you can see here what happened. No need to be declared actually because it has got self declaration. What's coming? You can see here as soon as it came out, the variables whatever used inside the procedure, those have been gone. Right? So local variables means all the variables which are local to the current procedure or current action will be displaying there, with irrespective of whether you want to observe them, you don't want to observe them. Whatever the variables that script is coming across during the debugging, whatever the variables that script is coming across, then all the variables will be displayed in the local variables. Right? Whatever the variables have been initiated or declared inside the action, the variables which are declared or initiated inside the function, all the variables will be displayed in the local variables. But not all the variables. Whatever the variables it is coming across. Okay. If there is now you are at 10th line, then if there is a variable initiated at 11th line, but 11th line will not be displayed. Whatever the variables it came across till 10th line, only those variables will be displayed. So local variables will display all the variables that script is coming across, then those variables will be displayed. That is local variables. But now, what is watch there? Watch also to display the variables only. But not all the values, not all the variables. Now we say that when you got too many variables used, but not all the variables giving the troubles to you. During the execution or some of the variables, only 2-3 variables, you got some doubt saying that I think these variables are not getting appropriate values, or these variables are getting some wrong values or not getting the values at all. Some variables only you got the doubt there. If you want to see only the variables which you wish, the variables which you want to see, not all the variables. Local means all the variables, but watch means the variables which you want to see, only those variables then will be displayed in the watch. Now we say I want to see only keyword to execute and I want to see only str keyword. Only these two variables I want to see, remaining I don't want to see, because those two are matter for me now. So that in that case what you do is, again I will stop and then I will come back from the beginning. You know what is the shortcut key for stopping? F4. F4 is the shortcut key for stopping the script. Now what I do, I will add these two variables to the watch. How do you add the variable to the watch? Keep the cursor on the variable. Shortcut key is Control T. Control T is a shortcut key to add the variable to the watch. Or you can say right click and you have something called add to watch. Where is that gone? Okay, I'm sorry. In 14 they have disabled it during the design time, but only during debugging that will be displayed. Now we can see I want to see only these two variables during debugging. Now I am adding only these two to the watch. Right click, add to watch, str keyword, add to watch. Only two variables are displayed in the watch here. But local variable, this is local variables and this is watch. You can see only two are being displayed, whatever you have added. Now I'm just debugging line by line. You can see all the variables are coming in local but not coming in watch. I'm just pressing step over there. Now we can see that value is displayed, but here all the values are being displayed here. Right? All the variables are being displayed in local variables. Now you can see that str keyword also has come here. So you can see all the values are coming into the local variables, but all the variables. But watch means only the variables which you wish to see during the debugging. Whatever the variables you want to observe or you wish to observe, only those variables will be taken into the watch, can be taken into the watch. But local means all the variables what that script is coming across. Got the difference? Okay. Right. Oops, sorry, I had to say console. Okay, fine. I'll take the console. Okay, so let's see the console now. What is mean by console here? Shift F11. Okay. So now you say nowhere I just displayed record count here. Right? Nowhere I have displayed record count. But I just during the debugging I just want to see how many records are there in that. How do you see how many records are there? Record count method is there, right? But in fact, since I have not used that method in the script now, I may not be able to see now. But during debugging, I just temporarily display that record count. That means I need to execute the record count method temporarily during the debugging. Then how do you execute that method? By using console. Console is used for executing some methods temporarily during debugging, not runtime, during debugging time. Okay, now you can say like this, message box recursive dot, I'll say record count. I've written the method there in the console, in the line I have written the method, and I just press on enter, you can see that that line is executed, right? So now you say that you are debugging line by line, then you have executed first line and then you came to the second line. When it came to the second line, you realized that there is one step missing between 1 to second, and if that line is executed, then only will be able to proceed. That's why it is failing actually, just you realize that. Now what you want to do, first you see now temporarily you need to execute that line whatever is missing, so that you can continue with the debugging. If that is working now, then you come back and permanently can execute. So how do you execute that line temporarily, whatever has been missed out there and all? Then by using the console, right? So console tab is used for executing any line temporarily, or to change the variable value also. You see that one variable has got some value, but you realize that that has got wrong value there. To continue with the debugging, for now you have to update with right value and then continue. Then what you can do, temporarily you can just say console, go to the console, you say variable equal to some value, variable value will be updated, and then you continue, right? Now you say like this, what I mean to say that is, I'll continue this. Now BLN execute keyword, what it is showing here? No, but see, by mistake I have given the no there, but I want to just make into S and then execute. So how do you execute that? How do you change it to S? You say this variable equal to, go to console, equal to I said BLN keyword equal to S, come to the what the variable value, change to S. Now it goes inside, you can see here. What is the keyword now? It is close browsers. If you execute now, you can see the browsers have been closed. Temporarily I just changed the value. That's what the console means for. Console is used for executing certain lines temporarily, or changing the variable value temporarily. Okay, fine. So I will stop